Hey guys, it's Jack Punkington here, and today we're checking out this beautiful 2020 Epiphone Les Paul Classic. So first of all, this bad boy has been modified like crazy. So I actually got this from my dad. He recently started building and learning guitar about a year ago, over this last summer. And what he does is actually he buys guitars like this that had a defect and repairs them. So he wanted to learn how to do that. And this was his second one that he repaired a headstock break. If you can see, there's no like real issue on the front, but you go to the back and boom, it's actually pretty well done. I wanted to say the only real issue, and this isn't like an issue for me, is like he didn't cover it up, but that's not really a big issue, especially because actually it's kind of nice feeling the wood right here. I'm actually debating on I took all the gloss off the neck with the Scotch pad. I'm debating on taking all the finish off, like too, just to match it, because this is a player's grade guitar. This is a very well done player's grade guitar. So Gibson and Epiphone last year, they came out with these models. I mean, Epiphone rebranded basically its entire new lineup of guitars, and they have a classic and a modern version. This is actually their classic, and it's pretty awesome. First of all, I love this Gibson headstock design, or Epiphone headstock design, excuse me. It's closer to a Gibson headstock, though that's probably why I think that. But if you don't really see the difference, here's a classic Epiphone headstock versus the new one. This is the one thing about Epiphones I always hated, was the headstock. Now they fixed that. The other thing is, look at how awesome this finishes. Back in the day when I was picking up guitar and learning it, I always wanted a Les Paul. This was the style of guitar that I grew up loving, because Slash, Zakk Wylde, and this isn't really a Les Paul player, but I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, Slash and Zakk Wylde were like my big Les Paul players. Other players that like super inspired me was Stevie Ray Vaughan and Tom Morello. That was the other one I was thinking of. Just because, I don't know, their styles I really liked, but I always liked this shape. I don't know what it was. It looked really cool. And when I was, always learning what's the difference between this and a Gibson, or at least the older ones, there was always this video, and it was by a channel called Next Level Guitar. I don't know if you guys remember them. Well, their website was nextlevelguitar.com. This is back when you would use YouTube to promote your website versus your main thing being on YouTube. The channel was called Rock On Good People. This is like 14, 15 years ago. And the guy who ran the website had a guitar similar to this. It was more of a root beer finish with kind of a quilty or maple top. But I don't know, there's something about this, just this plain top, that I really love. It gives me Peter Green vibes. That's why it's actually named Greeny, is because it makes me think of Peter Green. And yeah, so let me go over like the changes this thing has had. And it's going to have more. But so far, as you can see, these pickups are different. They're not the stock pickups. These are Seymour Duncan Whole Lotta Love humbuckers, which is based off of a British kind of sounding humbucker. All the pots have been replaced. The pots that were in here, I didn't like the whole coil tap, phase reverse, which is ironic because that's what Peter Green did, thing. And I was like, I just want a straight rockin' machine guitar. So I replaced all these. They did have CTS pots, so that was actually really cool. But we replaced them all with just standard CTS normal pots. And that's about it, really. The bridge and tailpiece are not the ones that come standard with this guitar. They normally come with these new lock tone ones, but these don't have that feature. Just a aftermarket bridge and tailpiece. I'm going to actually get rid of the tailpiece, and I'm probably going to put a Bigsby on this. And I took out the pickguard. I still have it, but I don't know. I normally like pickguards on my Les Pauls, but just something about this works. And I'm going to put in locking tuners. Nothing against Grover. These are really good tuners. This guitar actually stays in tune pretty well. But if I'm putting on a Bigsby, I want to make it as painless as possible. So, but yeah, the neck, they have it marked as a slim 60s neck. Don't believe that. It is not a slim 60s neck. I don't like slim 60s necks. I'm a beefy kind of like... I like my guitar to have a beef to it. I don't know. I've always liked the baseball necks, but no, it's an in-between between the slim 60s and the fat 50s. I actually got this because my father has a lot of them. He's repaired, this was his second one, he repaired a custom, then this, then a red custom, which was pretty cool, which has like the high performance specs, and then he has another one that he repaired. I can't remember what it was, but they're all headstock repair guitars, so he's actually pretty good at it. And yeah, it's really cool. One kind of neat thing though about him taking out the finish, I can kind of see how they did this headstock. So, Epiphone, like the way they did their headstocks, I always wondered, at least on this lineup. So it has a scarf joint, then there's the neck, and then the way it looks like the head is grafted on. So this is not one piece of wood. This is two pieces, and then these two sides are grafted on, much like a Gibson. So, it's funny because I was actually looking at a Gibson Les Paul Classic on eBay that I still have my eye on, but the ad just kind of seems a little bit too good to be true, and I want to be careful with that. But this thing just rocks. So, bridge pickup. Middle position. And then neck. So these pickups are really interesting. They're not super high output like what's in my Schecter, which is the Seymour Duncan Hot Rod set. They're very like low output or mid output, I would say. But when you like kick on an overdrive pedal on top of a nice juicy British game, said, the neck pickup was... really juicy. Kicking on some other effects. Sounds great. So, with these guitars, are you really getting better quality than A, what you got before, and B, is it worth it to buy this and wait and then buy a Gibson? What's really the big differences now between a new off-the-spec, not modded model of this versus a Gibson Les Paul Studio? So, honestly, if you really have to have that name on your headstock, I mean, go for it, but as someone who is a proprietor Gibson person, meaning like, that's what I prefer, this is awesome. I am just in love with this guitar. Every time I pick it up, I just wanna play a lot of blues with it. But this thing can do anything, really. Now, yeah, this is something that's a little bit different than what they are because it's been so heavily modified, but this guitar is what I'd want it to be. I don't want this to be, because A, I don't feel bad if I beat it up. I'm not planning on just smashing it or anything, but I don't feel bad about like if I knock it into something or if the paint starts to wear, which it might. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll do a little unnatural relicking. I don't know. I kind of want to just let this fade and like relic. By the way, the back of this guitar looks amazing. Like, it really does. You can see that wood grain just pop. And that might be a veneer, it probably is. But even if it is, it's a pretty good, it just looks really good. I think Epiphone is doing the right thing. And I mean, they're doing other stuff now, like, you know, they've got the Prophecy series that's out. They've got other things like the Slash. This kind of reminds me of like a faux Slash signature, but like a little different. I don't know. It's cool because when you get like an off-brand Les Paul, there's always a little, at least for me personally, like I've had Agiles and J-Terzer. And there's always a little part of me that's like, yeah, it looks nice, but it doesn't feel like a Les Paul. This feels like a Les Paul. Like, this feels... This feels like a Les Paul. It sustains like a Les Paul. It sounds like a Les Paul. Yes, it's had some modifications to make it potentially sound a little bit better than what an Epiphone stock does. But honestly, these pickups, you can get them for about $100 used. The pots all together, I think, cost me like $40, maybe 20, like $30, and it cost my friend who does all my guitar work, well, not all of my guitar work, but a good chunk of it, who lives here in town, $45 to rewire it the way I wanted it. And boom, you have a Les Paul that's an Epiphone, but honestly plays and sounds a lot like a Gibson. It actually sounds better than... than most like studios and stuff. Now, is this like on par with like a Gibson custom shop? Of course not. It's not supposed to be. But I would rather play this all day long than go out and spend $3 grand on a Les Paul standard, because that's what they cost now, which is just ridiculous. You don't need to spend that much on a guitar. Like, I think these are $400 brand new, $450. It's so worth it. Like, it really is. I actually wanted to get the Purple Burst one, but this, I don't know, there's just, something about it. It feels right that I got the Honey Burst one. The other thing, the neck, this one at least has a little bit of a flame on it. It's kind of hard to see, but in the right light you can kind of see that. And that's obviously not a veneer, because I don't think you can put a veneer on a neck, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it looks really nice. And it just, it's also, this is only like one, two, I think this is only a 3-piece body as well. I mean, excluding if you want to like exclude like the heel joint. But like the body itself is only 3 full pieces. There's a seam line, I think it's like here, and then like right here, and then there's the middle piece. So, also I think these have short neck tannins, if that's like important to you. The only other thing I forgot to mention is the nut is actually replaced. I actually had to re-put it on myself as well, because when I got this guitar I had to do a neck adjustment and the nut popped right off. I was like, oh, oop, and just put it right back on. But yeah, this is not the original nut, so if that's something that's important to you, consider that as well. But, you know, it's a beauty. It, like I said, it came with a pickguard, which, it doesn't look bad like this, but I don't know, just, this is the first time I think I've ever looked at a Les Paul and said, that doesn't need a pickguard. It looks perfect without it, so. Anyway, guys, I've been wanting to do this for a little bit. I just got the guitar back yesterday, and I'm really excited. This is the other thing, is me and my buddy Chris are working on music, and we're both kind of, he's a bigger Iron Maiden fan than I am, but my favorite guitar player out of Iron Maiden is Adrian Smith. You know, he's known for playing his signature Jackson, but the other thing he plays a lot is a Les Paul. It's very similar looking to this. Might be a cool top. I think it's this type of finish though. So I don't know. That was another thing. I was like, oh man, it's kind of like an Adrian Smith Les Paul also. But it's got so many other things. And it's just so cool. This thing is awesome. So I recommend them all day long. Honestly, if you can't afford a Gibson, there's no reason that you should feel bad about buying this guitar. And if you're one of those people that like has tried an Epiphone in the past, and you're like, yeah, it's okay, but like, I don't know, I think I'd rather go with something else. Give these a try. They're definitely worth it. Now, Epiphones out of this collection, it's kind of hit and miss on the frets. These frets did not have any issues. My dad actually said, I asked him too, because as soon as he got it, I asked, did it have any issues at all? The frets, he's like, nope, I didn't have to do anything with them. They were great. I mean, touched up a little bit on the sides, but that was it. That's more inexpensive guitars, and even some Gibsons I've had to do that. So that's not a huge deal. But I would recommend going to a store and trying them out, not just ordering one offline. Or if you do, maybe get one that's been used, and that, you know, the frets have been addressed if that was an issue. But just such an awesome guitar. It really is. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got more stuff coming down the pipeline I am very excited about. And yeah, so anyway, guys, this is Jack Punkington signing out. Peace.